The FM23 winter update didn't just bring with it upgrades for Wonderkids in the game and match engine changes, there was also updates to players who are way over that limit of being able to be a Wonderkid, the players that are 23, 24. There's been lots of upgrades across the board, and in today's video I'll be focusing on some of the biggest player upgrades that we've seen, some of the biggest profile names that have been upgraded that you should keep an eye out for in your save, and some of them have been taken to a whole new level and make them nearly must-sign players now in FM23. Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT, welcome to the video, and as mentioned today, we'll be looking at those players who have had big upgrades in Football Manager 23, not including players who are under the age of 21 and still able to be called a Wonderkid. Instead, we'll be focusing on established players, the ones that we've seen have had notable increases, and we've only focused on the top 5 leagues here. But what I'd ask you guys to do is if you've seen any major upgrade to a player in the winter update, then let us know in the comments down below so we can have a big list of them for people to check out. If you do enjoy the video, smash the like button for us, subscribe for more, and let's take a look at the first set of upgrades. And our first set of players are from Arsenal. Now obviously they're doing very well under Mikel Arteta in real life, and it's led to a lot of their players being improved in terms of both current ability and potential ability. Now some players in this video have only had current ability increases, some have had a huge increase to their potential ability. Either way, we're going to take a look at a big bunch of them who have been upgraded, and in Arsenal's team there's 3 main ones that we've picked out that look like they've had huge increases. The first one is William Saliba, who was a great Wonderkid years ago, then for a few years was half decent but maybe not the best centre-back you could go for, but now he is top draw yet again. His potential ability now sits at 180, which is an incredible number, and his current ability has increased as well to the point where he's now nailed on pretty much to be one of the world's best centre-backs in your save, and straight away he already has the ability to be great. Now his transfer valuation at the start of this save is probably a little bit on the high side, about 250 million supposedly Arsenal will be asking for him here. I imagine if you wait a little bit it won't be that high, but either way, a top draw centre back now, one of the best. But he wasn't the only upgrade at Arsenal. Another one that we noticed where there's been a huge upgrade, where is he? If we keep going, there he is, Thomas Partey. His potential ability has remained the same at just over 160, however his current ability has been increased massively. He's 29 now, so realistically that potential is not going to change, but he's pretty much right at his potential rating. If you have a look, his potential is 162 and his current ability 161. That was in the low 150s before the winter update, but now he's one of the most elite midfielders in the world in the game. He's actually classed as an elite midfielder now. Very well rounded, a brilliant player, and the Ghanaian has rightly had a big upgrade, but the other one that isn't an upgrade as large as some others because he was already rated very highly in FM and he is actually under the age of 21, so we're kind of breaking our rule here, but whilst we're on the sake of Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, another one. He's had a +5 increase in terms of his potential ability. He's nearly at 170 current ability already. He's nailed on in FM terms to be one of England's main starters for the time he's 20 till the age of about 33, 34. He's really that good. He's got everything he needs to be effective in FM. He's a brilliant player, and it's no surprise that he is a star at Arsenal now. Another team that's doing very well this year are Napoli, also known as Parthenope in the game, and whilst I do have a real name fix, the new update has reversed its effect, so I need to put it back on, but for the sake of this video, we're going to imagine that says Napoli up there. But yes, they have had some big increases, as you would expect. They are playing exceptionally at the minute, and it's 3 of their most key players this year that have been upgraded. The first one is Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa. Who would have known when he was playing for Fulham that he was going to go on to be one of the most elite midfielders in the world, and at this stage in real life he is doing exceptionally well. A brilliant dribbler, brilliant first touch, passing, tackling technique. This guy is the ultimate box-to-box player. He's only had a small increase. I think it's +2 to his potential and +2 to his current ability, but I just thought I'd point him out because he has had an upgrade, but nowhere near the level of the next 2 players. One of them, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, of the Georgian wide player who was an FM Wonderkid for years, is now too old to actually be classed as a Wonderkid, but he has had a huge upgrade. His potential has increased massively, as has his current ability, to the point now where even at the age of 21, he is already super talented. He doesn't even need that much growth to be a great player, but his potential has now been increased, and let me just show you, he can have a potential now of 179 to be one of the best players in the world. Good with both feet, can play on that left hand side as an inverted winger or an inside forward, an exceptional player, but I think my favourite upgrade has got to be Victor Osimhen, who was already a great striking option, but now is probably one of the best you can get out there. Unless you're looking for a Haaland or an Mbappe, then Osimhen might be the next best option. And if you don't get there first, there's a good chance he moves to one of these giants and you'll never be able to get him. So Victor Osimhen, if you want him, act quick because he's had a big upgrade in the winter update. Before we look at more players, I'm just going to pause for a second and let you guys know that I do have my own channel linked in the description down below. If you want to come check that out, I'd massively appreciate it. We're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers on there by the end of the week. So if you could come over, hit that button and maybe even watch the content, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We've got a Let's Play series with Aberdeen, some one-off rebuilds, and also we've got some YouTube shorts about Wonderkids that you might have never heard of. So it's definitely worth coming over. I'd really appreciate it. So thank you to anyone who does that. But let's get back to the upgrades. And one of the biggest ones that we've had, one of the ones that everyone seems to be talking about, is the upgrade to Cairo Mitoma of Brighton, who's been exceptional this year and in FM terms has had a huge increase. For a 25-year-old to have his potential increase massively, I could be wrong, but I feel like his potential before this was capped at 135. Now his current ability is 145 and his potential is 160. He's been one of the breakout stars in the Premier League this year, having been signed from Brighton from the Japanese divisions. He spent a year out in Belgium where he did well, but nowhere near as well as what he's doing in the Brighton shirt now. Been an exceptional player for them. They've had a few increases across the board, particularly the youngster Wonderkid Evan Ferguson, who we spoke about in the Wonderkid version of this video, so I won't cover him. But yes, Mitoma, huge upgrade, a brilliant player, and he's nailed on to be Japan's star now for the next 10 years in your FM save. Despite Chelsea struggling in real life, some of their players have had huge upgrades, particularly the ones that they've signed recently. Levi Colville we covered in the Wonderkid video, but just to show him quick, he has been increased massively, as has Ian Matson on loan at Burnley, but a few of their most recent signings have had big improvements, one of which is Enzo Fernandez. Since FM23 came out, he's been a World Cup winner, won Best Young Player at the World Cup, got a multi-million pound move to Chelsea for over £100 million from Benfica, so rightly so, he has had an increase in terms of both his potential and his current ability. A phenomenal player, and realistically, you're not going to get him off of Chelsea, but still someone that I thought we'd show, a notable player who's had a big increase. Other than that, we've had Mykhailo Mudryk, whose potential and current ability has also been increased after his great performances at the first half of this year for Shakhtar. Chelsea have paid big bucks for him. I'm sure he'll settle in there soon. His electric pace will make him brilliant in Football Manager terms, good at finishing, good crosser, perfect inside forward or an inverted winger on the left, someone to definitely keep an eye on. But the other major upgrade that I saw in their side was for, where is he? Is he actually going to be in their under-21 squad? He might very well be. There he is, Benoit Badiashile, who I'm sure when Chelsea signed him didn't expect for him to have first-team involvement instantly, but after a few poor performances, he ended up getting called up and straight away did really well in a Chelsea shirt. Looked like he'd been there for years and has been one of the bright sparks in a poor season for them. A left-footed centre-back who FM players have known about for years at Monaco, but now he's no longer a Wonderkid, but he is still uber talented and has been increased in this winter update. His physicals are great, his defending attributes are great, and he can also play a pass if needed, an aerial threat, 6'4". He's going to be dominating for years to come. If he keeps it up at Chelsea, we might even see another upgrade for him next year, but now his current ability is sitting at a 139 rating, and his potential is 163, so a nice upgrade for him. But one of my favourite upgrades is our next player, and that's Manuel Ugarte, playing for Sporting Club de Portugal out in the Portuguese divisions. Now, he was already a good player in terms of his current ability, and he was a Wonderkid a few years ago, but it seems the hype kind of died out. But after performing well for them recently, he has had a potential rating increase all the way to 175, meaning he can become one of the best midfielders in world football. He's got a £52 million release clause, and I wouldn't be surprised if some clubs activated that in your FM save soon. Very adaptable to other countries, a consistent performer, and someone who has some incredible attributes. You can see why the Uruguayan is already a star player at only the age of 21. Great physically, great mentally, and brilliant tackling attributes. He's a good passer as well. Maybe he won't score your goals, but sitting behind the defence as that destroyer, he would be a great player in your side and has had a huge upgrade now. Much like Enzo Fernandez, he's already at a big club, but I could see him move into one of the giants of European football sometime soon, both in real life and I'm sure in FM as well. So act quick on him, but let's move on to our next player. It's our penultimate player, one left after this, and it's someone that I forgot to cover when we went over to Brighton. another player who was integral in Argentina winning the World Cup. That's been reflected in this winter update, alongside obviously some brilliant performances in the league from Alexis McAllister at Brighton. 23 years of age, an Argentinian international with brilliant attributes all around, and is extremely versatile, able to play as that defensive midfielder, as a deep line playmaker who can tackle well, or as an advanced player who can create chances and score goals. His technical attributes are flawless. It's not often you see someone with good finishing ability, passing and tackling, as well as set piece ability, mental attributes that are off the charts. And even though his physicals aren't exceptional, he's got everything he needs there to be a successful player, a consistent performer who enjoys the big games. He's definitely one that's worth taking a look at in your next save. Our final player that we're going to cover is Goncalo Ramos. And remember, if you think we've missed someone, there's a good chance we have. We made this list ourselves, but if there's someone that you've seen in your game, then let us know in the comments down below. We've avoided Wonderkids and stuck to the top 5 divisions here, but if you know someone else who's had a big increase at a big level, let us know. But Goncalo Ramos has been increased massively. The Benfica striker scored a hat-trick in the World Cup. It kind of brought a lot of attention to his name. He'll cost you about £25 million, and he'd definitely be worth the money. Good work rate, a brilliant pressing forward, good with both feet. He's wanted by Dortmund and Atletico Madrid here. He's got a bright future ahead of him, has the 21-year-old Portuguese forward, a big increase in terms of his current ability and his potential ability. That's now sitting at 162. His current ability is 143. He's got a lot of room to get better. Number 88 for Benfica. And there you go, Goncalo Ramos is our final player, a top draw talent amongst many others that we've covered in this video. If you have enjoyed, smash the like button, comment down below other players that you've seen that have had upgrades, subscribe for more, and check out my channel linked in the description. But most of all, have a great day everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.